and Randy Moss, without even really being able to run, as he shoots the moon to the
pass, pumps to the left, 8 seconds left. He gets away from the pressure, fires to the end zone. It's caught! It's Greg Lewis! Oh my heavens! Greg Lewis's first catch has given the Minnesota.
Four, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of House Calls. You have Skull Doc here, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. Joining me is Dave, as always. Dave, biggest game of the season is this weekend. We take on number 2 in the NFC North, the Detroit Lions, coming off a massive, dominant performance against the Cowboys, but the Vikings are rested up. I think our guys are ready to go. Are you excited, my friend?
I think it could. The bye week was a perfect. I hate early bye weeks, but I think it was a perfect bye week for us. What a great time! Obviously with Aaron Jones being injured, the potential of T.J. Hawkinson potentially coming back. A lot of good things could possibly happen for us. Again, we'll talk about a trade here that we just did, but yeah, game of the. This is the game. This is the game. And, I'm going to try to get Micro Mike who's a big Detroit Lion podcaster on. And I tried to get him tonight, but something came up. They had a big extension go off, and he says, I can't do it tonight. So I'm going to try to get him this week. Who knows? Maybe we can have him on Saturday. But I really want to hear how the Lions fans feel about it too. And where they are, because I'm sure they're excited too. I think on both sides, hasn't been, I think someone posted that we haven't been both, this type of records in 60 years facing each other, which is crazy. And we're coming off of losing 3 times in a row to them. What a game, what a matchup, what a perfect time. Absolutely.
I mean, both fan bases are just confident as hell. This one is at the bank, so I think that it's the Vikings. They're 1.5 point favorites right now over the Detroit Lions, and I'm just excited as hell. This is must-watch TV this weekend. I had some buddies asking me to go golf and record the game and watch it when I got back from golf. I said, no way, guys. I understand it might be one of the last days that we can get out and hit the ball around, but you can't miss this one. You got to watch this one live. It is going to be just absolute fireworks.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be there is much hype for a regular season game in a while since this one. Yeah, this is for us anyways. I think this has probably been the most hype game for us, and it's kind of odd because it's coming off a bye. Like there's no excitement about it, but Twitter's just Twitter's on fire about what's happening and in the potential moves we make and everything. I know we'll talk about it when it comes up here, and Sam Darnold and his performance this last week and how things went last week. And we're definitely going to talk about that. But this is the time to come together. This is the time to pull out all the stops, set our mark on the game. I'm not going to be picking no blowout this game, but the way that the Lions toyed with the Cowboys and stuff, and how Zimmer has now set a record for the most points given up in 4 home games, I don't know, in the history or of something. Lions did a number on them, and they're coming off a real big high. I want to catch them napping. And I think this is our opportunity. Perfect timing. Absolutely perfect timing.
And, they could be a little dejected coming off of that big injury that they lost Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
So, that's a big blow to a team. That guy was Defensive Player of the Year through the first 5 weeks of the NFL. He was leading the NFL in pressures, and it wasn't close. Number 2 in the league is Jonathan Grenard for the Vikings. So, That's going to be a huge blow to their defense. I think that they're going to have to schematically change things up to apply more pressure on the quarterback. They got that stud defensive tackle that they actually just extended today. So that's going to be a matchup with Ed Ingram, our weakest link, of course. So we're going to have to shore that up there and make sure we got multiple hands on that guy, because right now he's probably the biggest threat to put pressure on our quarterback this weekend. But that's a big blow to the Lions. And there's a lot of speculation that they could go out and trade for a pass rusher. Maybe that Hassan Reddick guy from the Jets, who they just provided some permission to seek a trade. There's a lot of speculation about Max Crosby with the Raiders, although I'm a little skeptical that the Raiders would actually trade him, being the one good piece that they actually have on that team right now. But keep an eye out for the Lions to make a move, because they are absolutely in their Super Bowl window right now. But again, you don't root for injuries, but it was good timing for the Vikings to go up against the Detroit defense without their best player.
Yeah, and I mean, the way he's been playing is probably why they're ranked 13th in the, in defensive yardage compared to what they have been. So he was a big piece. Again, you hate that a guy's injured, and especially someone as talented as that. It was fortunate timing for us. I do think they're going to miss a lot with him. I do think it's going to make a huge difference. And I think it has a lot to do with why we're favored.
Yeah. Absolutely. The strength of that Lions team is their offense. There's just no sugarcoating it. That's the best offense in the NFL. But they're going up against the best defense in the NFL at US Bank Stadium, where that defense gets that extra juice from the crowd. And this crowd is going to bring it this weekend. It's going to be a playoff environment because Minnesota fans understand the weight of this game. I don't think that Lions fan travel super well to the bank. I think that you see a lot more Packers fans that travel into the bank and kind of, make their voice heard in Minnesota, but I'm not concerned about them taking over our stadium at all. If you watch the Cowboys game, you could actually hear some "Let's Go Lions" chants throughout the game, but Dallas has a problem with that. The away teams always take over that stadium. So, but yeah, back to this game. I just think that there's a reason the Vikings are favored 1.5 after the Lions just bitch slapped the Cowboys on national TV. And it just comes down to, keep saying it's must-watch TV. I think, like you said earlier, I'm not going to project a blowout here. I think it's going to come down to the final possession.
Yeah, and just a thought. Is Zimmer done? I mean, Is he going to make it the rest of the season?
No.
I don't see how you could. Freaking Jerry Jones is on the radio going, I'm going to fire you for questioning me, and I'll have someone else ask questions.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. When you flex your power over
your radio
to a radio producer, come on, get over yourself.
That's old man. Get off my lawn. That's me in 20 years. It's me in 20 years or 30. Shit. God, how old is he?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of a crap thing to do to a media guy, and I don't even think it was really a tough question or anything.
No, not at all. He was out
They
of line.
did. It happened on his birthday, though. It's extra salt to the wound.
Yeah, and that's why he's so pissed off.
And for Zimmer coming off his tell-all bullshit about the Vikings to, I never had a bad defense, to now 3 historically bad defenses in a row.
Right.
Yeah, dude, it's time to. You should have went off while you should have kept quiet, and you should have stayed at home, retired, while we still felt good about you. In my book, that's coming from me. I'm saying we, but I mean me.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was a big Zimmer guy. I had a Twitter when he first came. I had a Twitter handle that was him, and I would swear a lot, but I would cut out the swear words because him coming from the Hard Knocks show that he was on when he was, I think, at Cincy. So I was really into him. And then when I started to hear he wasn't meeting with the quarterback, he's dogging certain players. And then to hear what the players had to say to him when he left. And then I was like, okay, you gave me some good years, man. I'm cool with you. And then he comes out and trashes the team. And now he's 3 bad defenses in a row. Yeah, it's time to hang it up. That's my Zimmer rant for today.
Yeah, and I'm a Zimmer guy. He did great things for the Vikings. He was the guy that we needed at the time. He brought some stability to the program after the terrible Leslie Frazier years. And, I just love the man. I love the coach. And it got tiresome because you stop winning and that shit happens. And, Zimmer, I love
he wanted to
Spielman as
bench
a
Casey
GM.
Keenum. So,
Yeah,
I mean, it's.
And I love Spielman as well. I thought he did a lot of good things. Unfortunately, he didn't get, in my opinion, the right quarterback in here. And we've been over that before. It just didn't work out. Whether you like Kirk, you didn't like Kirk due to other decisions during that era, it didn't work. So it was unfortunate. Like both of them, I wish both of them success. Unfortunately, I do think that Zimmer's time has come to an end in the NFL. I just think that team offenses have kind of passed his defensive scheme by, but also it always comes down to the Jimmies and Joes to some extent. And right now they have a lot of injuries on that defense. Their interior defensive line isn't very good. They're getting run on repeatedly. I mean, Zimmer's just reliving that Christmas night game against New Orleans when Kamara scored like 5 touchdowns. That's what he's reliving right now over and over.
Yeah.
And poor guy. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I just assume most likely he doesn't make it the rest of the season. You kind of have to make a decision like now to save your season. So we'll see. All the best to him. He's had a lot of bad things happen to him in his career.
Wife
as far
passed,
as his
son
wife,
passed.
his son. This is devastating. I wish him the best. But
his offensive line coach passed away, and Tony Sperano. His offensive coordinator, Norv Turner, quit on him. Like, there's a lot of shit that went down. He lost his eyeball in Chicago. So,
which is crazy because it was because of his play calling sheet that scratched his eye during the game, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, what's the next topic?
Well, let's talk about some of the keys to winning this game. And again, this game has a lot of magnitude to it because if you can win this game, you really put yourself in the driver's seat for this division with the schedule that the Vikings have coming up to rattle off some wins here. And then not only that, but the Lions, Packers, and Bears schedule is about to hit a gauntlet where their schedules get much tougher. So as always, win the turnover battle. I mean, that just goes without saying. Now, Kevin O'Connell is excellent when his teams win the turnover battle or tie the turnover battle. But number 2, and in my mind, you have to find a way to pressure Jared Goff, because when you can pressure Jared Goff, he's very mortal. But when you let him stand back there clean as can be, he will kill you. He will absolutely kill you. So do you trust our defense to pressure him enough against this outstanding offensive line?
Oh, yeah. I do. I just think we have more than we've had in the past of, Van Ginkel and Grenard. And, I'm a little worried about, I think Cashman might be injured. A little worried about that. But then you got Ivan Pace Jr. I apologize, Ivan Pace Jr. You're still really good. I kind of like he was being overshadowed by the fact how Cashman played in this last game. He was like I don't know. He's a missile. He's just able to sneak into places nobody can sneak into.
He gets skinny, dude. That guy.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's a great term. Great term.
He flies between offensive linemen, almost like a running back on defense, right? And finds the ball.
Yeah, he finds the way in. He gets low. He's a low center of gravity. He he disappears. That's the one thing. He's coming around the corner that a lineman's pulling, or a fullback's trying to hit the hole. He's able to avoid him. He's just shifty. He's quick. He's just I put it to body control. You can just do things with your body and that they don't expect you to be able to do. And that he's got that in spades. And I apologize. Sorry, Ivan Pace Jr. You're the greatest.
And he can blitz. He's very good at blitzing. He blows up backs. He gets around backs. He gets to the quarterback.
And Jones, Pat Jones having a great year. I mean, we just got some options at blitzing. All our linebackers are so much better than I expected.
Yeah.
They're just stepping up this year. I just haven't been this happy with the linebacking crew in a while. There's a lot of good things, and just to say, we may have one of the best cornerback duos in the freaking league right now. They're old too.
Yeah, who knew? Like,
who thought that was going to happen? I thought these were just like placeholders. Hopefully, they can hang on for another year. Holy shit, they are patting down the hatches.
Yep, couple things we were worried about in training camp. Number one, the corners. We talked about that a lot. They've been playing fantastic, especially Stephon Gilmore. But Shaq Griffin's playing well too for a guy who was cut from his team halfway through the season last year. And then the other thing was we didn't know how good this rush defense was going to be for Minnesota. It's very good. I think it's number 2 in the NFL right now in giving up rushing yards and the yards per carry. Now some of that is because teams have to throw against us, right? Because we've been getting out into leads. But when you look at the yards per carry, that's also very low. So they are winning on first and second down a hell of a lot, which puts the opposing offense into a third and long. And we know that Brian Flores has just been killing teams in third and long. Now that brings up to my other thing to watch in this game is not only can you outrush the Lions, but can you slow down the Lions rushing game? Because they are excellent at running the football. They will lean on you. They will run the ball. That's something you can do in a loud environment, and they're probably going to try to run the ball a decent amount against the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings have truly been tested with a dominant running team as of yet, a team that really tries to stick with it. But again, part of that is because the Vikings have been great in the first quarter. They've been out to leads right away, and teams start throwing the ball against us. So that's my other thing is can we slow down their rushing attack, and can we run against an excellent run-stopping Lions defense? They have really good run-stopping linebackers, really good defensive tackles. We'll see if Aiden Hutchinson being out, affects that at all. And, that's going to come down to the health of Aaron Jones a little bit too, because we don't know if he's going to play. He is practicing on the side today, but it was a light practice, so we'll have to watch the injury report. But Aaron Jones being in this game, that's going to be a big deal for the Vikings. It just gives them an extra element in regards to not only a boost to their running game, but a huge play action boost, and also catching the ball out of the backfield, and the screen game just pops when Aaron Jones is out there as well.
And it's one feature I like about Sam Darnold that I didn't know existed is how good at play action he is. He does a really good fakes. Mm-hmm. I mean, he sells them, and I really love that. And obviously, he had that 97-yard bomb to Justin Jefferson. So I think that's a tool in his bag, and I think the running game is important for that. And a sneaky good decision is bringing in Cam Akers again, because I don't know if Ty Chandler can be trusted to carry a load, but Cam Akers just does things better than Ty Chandler does. He's more power runner. I think he's historically a better receiving back, and he blocks better, much better than Ty
he does,
Chandler.
100%. Yeah, but also he's a better third running back than Myles Gaskin, and that's a big deal too. Because if Aaron Jones does go down for a game or two, you want to still have a running back by committee, right? And you'd like that committee to be Chandler Akers versus Chandler Gaskin, right? We saw that in the Jets, how it completely changed our running game. We could not.
I wish we would have signed him earlier. We got him on the team and set him but the draft was or the trade was a conditional 6 for 25th. Year 25 or 26, I forget.
It was 26.
And then the next year's 7th or something like that. So it wasn't.
It was a 26 conditional 6th round pick for Cam Akers and a conditional 7th round pick. So essentially you get Cam Akers and you slide down from the 6 to the 7 conditionally, depending on who
But it was
knows.
in the same year.
Yeah, 26 and 26.
Yeah. Yeah, not a big deal.
No.
And the way we pick in late in the draft, I'll take as many 7th round picks as I can.
Yeah, the way that we're signing undrafted free agents who are good at football.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, that was a nothing trade.
I was going to say
nothing. We're not losing anything. I felt is what I'm saying. But Cam Akers has had the only bad game you could say was against us. Otherwise, he's been over 3, 4, even 7 yards per carry.
Still caught
he's not getting a big load. But this guy, when he gets the ball, he finds a hole, and he's just all around back. He's just a solid all around back. And last year, I know we didn't. He wasn't going to Ty Chandler. I was wanting him to take over at least for Alexander Madison, who did give me a lot of fantasy points this last week. By the way, I picked him up because I needed a running back.
he's fine in the end zone. Something he couldn't do last year.
Yeah.
But
you couldn't do that last year. What the hell, man?
This Cam Akers trade, it is not going to stop the Vikings from making more moves, by the way, closer to the trade deadline. This feels like a team that could be parting with their first-round pick and shooting for the moon. We'll see, but I just
even before the Aaron Jones hip or whatever, hamstring, I don't know. I was wanting another running back.
Yeah.
And Pelissero, so I think this was perfect. I thought if we got him at the beginning of the year, I would have been completely satisfied with our running back team. But I just thought we were so shallow.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Akers is as good a running back I think we could get in a trade for as minimal we gave up.
100%.
That knows the offense. This is a nice little boost, I think, for the running game. I know people think I'm like exaggerating here, but he's that good to me, and he's back. He is not. I don't see any difference in him. And from the injury,
and he can run between the tackles. That's the biggest thing. I don't think Ty Chandler is good at that. I don't think Ty is more of a toss it out and try to get him a hole and just run and hit that hole as hard as you can and see if you can get a 20 to 50 yard gain out of Ty Chandler. But he does not look great between the tackles. Cam Akers has a lot of punch behind him for not being.
He smoked that defensive lineman in a block down the field. For the Pastronaut that one game. I forget which game it was.
And like you said, he can pass protect too. So I love it.
That's one of his.
Man. That's a good trade.
That's what we're really high on for him. Is I feel like he can help protect Darnold. I don't think Ty Chandler can.
And Pelissero
I'm a big Ty Chandler fan.
Yeah, and Tom Pelissero came out and said this is nothing to do with Aaron Jones's health right now. They were just doing this because they wanted to get deeper in the running back room. So that's a good sign. I do think if I had to place the odds on Aaron Jones playing this week, I would say that he's got a 70% chance to play. I just feel like he's going to play this week. It's a big game. It's coming off the bye week. He was participating in practice today, which is a good sign. So we'll monitor that. We'll talk more Saturday about how he's looking, if he's going to go. I would be skeptical about TJ Hawkinson playing this week.
That was my next question.
They're saying the right things about how good he looks and, he is practicing and getting out there and catching the ball and everything. But somebody brought up a good point where do you really want to bring him back for this game and then have him play on Thursday, short turnaround? So I don't know. I think it's more likely it's more likely he either plays at the Rams or he plays the game after the Rams, which is the Colts, I believe.
Yeah, and looking at the schedule, Detroit, and then look at this schedule: Rams 1-4, Indianapolis 3-3, and they're not as good as a 3-3 record. Jacksonville 1-5, Tennessee 1-4, and then we play Chicago 4-2. And it was funny. I think that the teams they beat were combined 4 wins.
Yeah,
the teams they beat.
Yeah, the Chicago has wins over Jacksonville, Tennessee. They lost to the Colts.
I have it here.
They actually lost to the Colts.
They lost to the Colts. Let me pull it up here. I actually there was a meme about it because look at my stuff, and it's Tennessee 1-4, Rams 1-4, Panthers 1-4, and Jags 1-5.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate that the Packers and the Bears both got the Rams without their top weapons because I think when the Vikings play them, I think Cooper Kupp will be back and Puka Nacua is going to be close too. We'll see because it is going to be on a Thursday, so maybe Nacua comes back that next week. But they're definitely going to be catching the Rams, in my opinion, at a little bit tougher spot there.
True.
But playing out LA, I don't think they have that much of a home field advantage out there. So we'll see. No, I think the Vikings are still a better team. Not to get ahead of ourselves.
Where we might have half the stadium again.
Yeah, not to get ahead of ourselves because we got to focus on the biggest game of the season.
Though.
Yeah, that's what we do. Now, if the Vikings do lose at home this week against the Lions, it's not the end of the world. They're still in a great spot for the division. It's a tough game, but a win would just be really big for the Vikings this week. And I think everyone in that locker room understands the opportunity that they have right now to make a statement, say the division runs through us this year.
Yeah, I mean, puts us 5. It would put us 6-0 and then 4-2.
And
Technically, it's a game and a half.
They would have 2 conference losses, and the Vikings would have 2 division
Oh no, they
wins.
already had a bye, didn't they? They had
the
a
Lions
bye.
already had a
it would
bye.
be 2 games up, and
they've
who did
they
Detroit
lost to
lose
the
to?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Detroit.
Okay, so that's huge. Yeah.
And that's a team who, by the way, I buy into. I think the Bucs are a damn good team.
They're just a little inconsistent, but yeah, they can throw a 50 spot.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to have that ability. I want so bad to be able to go, okay, we're going to drop 40 something today.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's turnovers. It's turnovers, and it's too many 3 and outs. This offense is very boom or bust.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the last 2 games, 3 and outs were a problem.
They were. But to be fair, we played some pretty damn good defenses the last 2 games. A lot of people like to talk about Sam Darnold's last 6 quarters not being great. You look at the Jets, dude, that defense was damn good, and they were holding us a lot. And then the Packers, good defense. You're playing them in Lambeau. So it's
I think this was Sam Darnold's roughest game, and I didn't know. I was kind of putting the blame on Kevin O'Connell. What I thought was him, picking a lot of downfield throws. And then there's a guy I follow. I forget his name offhand. I shout him out all the time, but I'm terrible with names. He put out the, basically wide view, all 22. I think it was.
Is it the quarterback school?
I figured that's what you would call it.
JT O'Sullivan? Is it JT O'Sullivan?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a Vikings guy. So he put out this all 22. He puts out a video every once in a while, on Twitter, and he put out probably 8, 9 plays. Some good, some bad, and like the pick he threw, there was guys open. Open. That was not the guy to throw it to. That was into triple coverage. There was just a couple of plays where there was just there was a throw to Jefferson, and our Oliver was just coming wide ass open and had one guy to beat.
Yep.
I felt like that was the guy to throw it to. So yeah, he missed some plays. Now keep in mind, I feel like he's smart enough, and Kevin O'Connell's a great teacher to like put the tape up there and go, hey, this is what we should have been looking at. This is what we should have been doing. I don't think it's a skill issue, which is great. I just think it was in the moment, maybe a little rattled. I don't know, but that was probably his roughest game. And I think I do not blame KOC after watching those film. I do blame Darnold on not hitting the right guy or not seeing not reading it right.
Yeah.
Because they were guys open.
You know what I'd like to see, though, in that situation when we were up like we were against the Jets? Can we see some design short stuff, just a little quick wide receiver tunnel screen or whatever it may be, just to get 3-4 yards here and there, and
we abandoned the screen game. We did one awful tight end screen again from the 2023 version of tight end screens, or 2022. They were both pretty bad. And he had this awesome screen game earlier in the year.
Yeah,
when
Aaron Jones was playing. When Aaron Jones was playing, right? Aaron Jones was on the sideline.
Well, I mean, we threw some to Ty Chandler last, too, and we threw a nice tight end screen to, I want to say, Oliver once. But yeah, we didn't have it. You're right. It's a personnel thing, and you and I talked about before the game, and I might as well bring it up now. Is like I had thought that Aaron Jones, we needed to arrest him a little bit, do more, split carries. I just felt like he was a little roughed up from the previous game. And then I don't know if you remember, I DM'd you going like, or we're just going to give him the ball every play now.
Yep.
And then he gets hurt. And I'm like, well, shit.
Yep. Matthew Collar called that one too. He said that Aaron Jones was on pace to, by far, destroy the number of carries that he's had in a single season. Now, this is a guy who's had health issues in the past with mostly hamstrings, things like that. And sure as shit, he got hurt like right after we kind of looked into that number. So you do have to manage his load going forward.
And that's what I was thinking we were going to do, because we're going to London and just the travel. And
Dave, it's tough when you put your backup running back in on a toss play and he fucking drops the pitch, you know?
Wasn't he hurt from that
Chandler.
play though? Aaron Jones?
That
was after the catch.
I don't remember.
It was after the catch he made by Nick Mullins.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
Well, point stands though.
Okay,
they don't have the they don't have
terrible.
the trust in Chandler. It's like, you can't make those mistakes.
And that's a play. It's a pitch play. How many times did he practice that?
Yeah,
none, probably. That was meant for what?
Chandler practicing pitch plays.
Yeah, sure.
He's
not the starting running back.
A ton though. That's a training camp thing, dude. Running backs do that in high school, man. Like that's just something that should be second nature for them.
Well, that week when you're prepping for a game, how many times did you touch the ball that week? How many times did you practice that play? Potentially none.
I know it's just NFL players.
No, not an pitch. It can't be an excuse. I'm just saying, was that the play that you need to choose to come in his first touch of the game? I think it was his first touch of the game.
Okay,
is that the play you call?
You're KOC and you're calling the game, and you're calling this pitch play. Like, what in the back of your mind is going to say, oh, wait, what if my running back doesn't catch that pitch? Like, that's just something I don't think about. These are professional football players.
How many times have you heard commentators say to hey, let's do a quick hitter to Justin Jefferson and get him involved in the game? It's the same way with a running back, right? Okay, let's make it a pitch play to a running back coming in cold. I'm just saying I would have chose a different play for him.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's an
excuse. I think you're nitpicking, sir.
All right.
Agree to disagree on that one.
Well, think about it. Are you gonna okay, I'm gonna throw a corner route to Justin Jefferson on the first play of the game. You're not thinking you're gonna do that. I mean, okay, let me pitch the ball out.
Bro, Nick Mullins comes in the game and throws a 20-yard fade route to a running back as one play. That was hilarious.
In fact, a little criticism of that. If he leads them 5 yards up the field, that might be a touchdown.
Oh, it is a touchdown. Yeah, but that's Nick Mullins, dude. He's got a freaking noodle.
He threw it quick. I mean, he threw it quick.
Noodle. I guarantee you, I can go out in the field right now and I can throw a ball farther than Nick Mullins. I guarantee you. I freaking guarantee you.
Okay. Yeah, he does not have the strongest arm, but I think it was more of a timing thing.
Who has the weaker arm, Nick Mullins or Sean Hill? That guy had a weak arm.
I don't
remember Sean Hill?
Arm. I didn't see his arm enough.
We traded for Sam Bradford that year when Teddy went down, and Sean Hill started in Tennessee week 1 that year because Sam wasn't ready. And Sean Hill, oh my God, he's floating like 10-yard curl routes. I'm just like, dude, this is the weakest arm I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's some people don't have good arms.
I shit on Nick a little bit. He's got a better arm than that. But like last year, he threw for 400 against the Lions. I think that was the game at Detroit. We were in that game. We were like marching to win that game.
And he made a throw that his arm cannot make.
Nope. Can't do it.
Yeah, and we had 30, 40 seconds left.
Yeah, we were gonna win that damn game.
We were driving, no problem.
Yep.
I will stand up for Nick Mullins. He's a good quarterback, just has a weaker arm.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like your eyes are bigger than your stomach.
Yeah.
Like he sees it, he can do it. That's a guy I want on my team, but his arm isn't there.
No. Just gotta call the game accordingly with that guy because he's gonna try to throw it anyways, and he can't do it. But
then he's made some good throws, so and that you didn't expect him to make. He was,
Do we have our pick sixes to go over from the last week that we did our pick six?
So
I think all of them are the same, right? I think we all picked the same.
That was the week before.
Oh, gotcha.
So I threw those out. We deleted them, and I forgot to add them up. But it didn't matter. We picked all the same ones. This time we didn't. And Justin Jefferson, 76.5 yards. I picked the over. You picked the over. He barely got that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Didn't he get that mostly in the first half? In the second half, he just didn't catch much?
That I think that's 2 weeks in a row that's happened.
Yeah. Yep.
But he was over both times. Let me see.
I wonder what his over is for this week. We'll take a look. We'll do our picks on Saturday. But
yeah, we'll do that on Saturday.
He's going to go over 100 this week. You know that. He kills the Lions.
It's the Lions.
Yeah, he kills them. And over under on how many holding calls are called against Justin Jefferson. 5. Terry and Arnold. Remember how bad Xavier Rhodes used to hold when he was young?
Yep, they had to put boxing gloves on him.
Yep, Terry and Arnold holds just like he does. He is grabby.
Oh, let me just. Justin had 92 yards. We thought he was having a rough game. That wasn't too bad of a game.
No,
14 targets, so his targets are up.
And if you add up
twice as many targets than he's usually getting.
And if you add up all the penalty yards, it was like over 150 plus yards.
Yeah. Now there was probably one that I thought was maybe a bullshit call, but most of them are pretty accurate.
But it's nice though to have that alpha guy where the ref is like, "Oh shit, must have been a penalty because he's the best in the league."
Yeah, we haven't had that, those calls like that, which is great. He's kind of got that reputation now, so that's good. He's Jordan rules. Speaking of Jordan Addison. Look at that segue.
I think we missed that
so
one, right?
38.5, right? We thought we had this one.
Yeah.
We thought we had this one. We did not.
Surprising.
36 yards.
He was close. Now, I think he was missed. He was wide open, and he was missed on a crossing route. So he should have had this.
Yeah.
But one of those games where Darnold was looking at Justin Jefferson the entire time and didn't really come off of him. He forced it to Justin a lot.
He half the targets went to Justin Jefferson this game.
I have a feeling that this week could be a big Jordan Addison day because I think the Lions are going to roll a ton of coverage over to Justin. They like to play a lot of man. So we could use that and do maybe some double moves with Jordan Addison like we saw against the Packers.
Oh, God, he's so good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Aaron Jones, I told what I thought about going into the game is that, we're going to London. We can be conservative with him and, share the load, maybe more 60-40. He came out of the gate just handing it off to him whole game and ended up injured. You had him over. I had him under. Unfortunately, I was wrong. They did give him the ball a lot, and we're going to run, give him the ball a lot and lean on him. So I'll take the under. I mean, I got it, but not at the expense of him. His injury kind of sucks.
What did he end up with? Like 40 something?
Aaron's 29 yards and 7 carries.
Oh, so he got hurt early. Okay.
Yeah. Here we got Breece Hall. They just gave up on running the ball. Yeah, so you had the under on this. I had the over. He only had 23 yards. He just came off I think a 100-yard game almost, or close to it, this last game. So they're using him more properly. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, how do you feel about them getting their new receiver and reuniting with Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I think, they didn't give up much to get him. I think a 3rd-round pick or something like that.
Conditional, a third that could become a second.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I like that because he's an older player. They're really going for it this year, and I don't think they're really a playoff contender even with Adams. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but the Jets have a lot of dysfunction. This is clearly their Hail Mary attempt to save their season. Obviously, Adams has a lot of familiarity with Rodgers from over the years, and the offense is similar, so we'll see. It has the potential to, be a good trade for them and to spark that offense and get it going. And their defense is quite good, but I mean, they've certainly dug themselves into quite the hole to start the season.
Well, you throw him in there, and the fact that I think they have one of the best running backs in the game, and then their other receivers are pretty decent, right? Garrett Wilson, Lazard's, pretty good. There was some crazy balls hit Lazard's hands against us, but they were such crazy tight throws and then he caught a touchdown. But they got weapons. They got weapons, and they got. I don't think Aaron Rodgers I still think has it. I don't think he's he's not nearly in his prime, but he dumps the ball off a lot, whatever. But he can still make some throws, and he's so crafty and throws it to the right. The fade route still really good. All the back shoulder throws. Him and his receiver at the Packers were just magnificent at that. So throw that with that defense and a weak non-conference they play Jacksonville, Miami's not the greatest right now, Indy, Arizona.
Yeah, they could rattle off some wins here.
They got wins on the board.
Yeah.
They just got to kind of split with their division, and then they'll be all right.
Their offensive line is really bad still.
Yeah.
Though, so
trade deadline. Who knows?
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing is that their team is getting really old really quickly. So, I mean, they're in desperation mode. They're the
11th oldest team.
I don't think that they're true Super Bowl contenders. I really don't. But I think part of the reason that I don't love it is because I did love the Amari Cooper trade for the Bills today. I thought that was just a better deal. Probably a better player. I don't know if I can say better player, but younger player than Devontae Adams. And putting Cooper with Josh Allen, I think, is really exciting. So
yeah, I sit next to a Buffalo Bill, a good friend of mine. I sit next to him at work, and he was ecstatic about it, man.
Yeah,
he was ecstatic about it.
And they got Cleveland to pay Cooper's salary, so the Bills are paying Amari Cooper essentially nothing, the league minimum $800,000.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, whereas the Jets took on Devontae Adams' full salary. So I like that for the Bills.
One team's a little more desperate than the other. Yeah.
Right.
But I did like how he showed up behind Aaron Rodgers and the Pat McAfee show.
That was funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had that shit planned out. He was already in New York. You know what I mean?
And he just so happened to be injured the last couple of games.
Yeah. Feel better now.
Oh, I'm all better now. And it's funny. He said he was going to go to the Lions until this old guy, or I wanted to go to the Lions until this old guy called me, or something to that effect.
I didn't hear that.
It was. I saw the quote. I didn't hear him say it. I just saw the quote. And then let's go to Sam Darnold. I said that he probably had his worst game, and he did. Statistically, I think he was like 179 yards.
Well, so I hit that.
Yeah. So you hit the under. I said the over. Jeez. I remember I said it was going to be a passing day, so I was dumb.
Yeah. Tough defense to go against. That I was worried about those corners shutting down our passing game.
Okay. And next was Jared Goff. Oh, you know what I was doing? I was setting it up for the next week. So this was Aaron Rodgers. 223 and a half yards. I said the under. You said the under.
He went over, I think.
He went over.
Yeah.
And then I think we both went 3-3. So this is us now, 8-10, 10-8.
Okay.
I'll double check that we're 3-3. I'll double check that for accuracy because I
thought I got you this week, but I guess not.
I had to double check on that Sam Darnold, but I know I had 3, so I'll double check.
Sounds good.
All right, man. What else? What else you
got? Nothing else. Let's reconvene Saturday night. We'll
do our prediction then.
We'll do our predictions and final thoughts heading into the game, talk a little bit about the injury reports, and get ready for a huge-ass game on Sunday.
One last question before we leave. What do you think the trade deadline, I think it's November 5th or something like that. What do you think we're going to do? What move do we make?
Well, I think there's going to be a move made. Let me just say that. So there's 3 more games before the trade deadline, correct? We have the Lions game, we have the Rams game, and then we have the Colts game. Now, I think the Vikings are going to win 2 of those 3, if not all 3. That's how high I am on this team. So I have them with 1 loss type, or maybe not any losses going into the trade deadline. Now, if that's the case, this team will be buyers. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we've all read the names out there, right? Like, we could use a defensive tackle stud. Dexter Lawrence is the pipe dream. But what about Jeffrey Simmons from the Titans? I think the Titans are going to be sellers. Jeffrey Simmons would look damn good on this defense, dude. clogging up that middle with Harrison Phillips, gives you some pass rush ability up the middle. Maybe a cornerback. J.C. Horn is a name that's been throwing around from the Panthers. That's a younger guy who's got some talent, and you could sign him and extend him, and he could be part of this defense for many years to come.
Do you feel like going after more of a guy that has like last year of his contract kind of thing, where a team control or of some kind, where maybe they there's no like second last year of a contract, but the last year is not guaranteed, that kind of thing, because then the trade value is not as good. They won't get as much in return from us rather than a Dexter Lawrence that might, he has a longer contract.
Yeah, I have no idea, man. We do know that Kwesi likes to make moves at the deadline, but those moves have been more so under the radar moves outside of TJ Hawkinson, who was a guy coming in at the end of his deal and they extended. I think he had a year left in his deal and they ended up extending him. So I'd say that's kind of the MO.
The season, right?
Right. I think that's
and when we trade a third rounder for him,
a second and a third for TJ.
Oh, did we? Okay. So that was So that was, and I know people kind of felt like we maybe gave too much for it, but I think we're all pretty excited.
Yeah, I wasn't in that.
I think most people are pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I was like, shit, you're gonna top 5 young tight end from a division rival.
He still hasn't beat the Lions yet, though, which is right. He hasn't beat the Lions yet.
I don't know.
Yeah,
he's had some shitty quarterbacks playing against the Lions, though, also. So he hasn't had the best chance. Because I'm pretty sure
he didn't get to play the last.
Yeah, didn't get to play the last one. So, yeah. But yeah, man, I'm stoked for this weekend. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, let's go Vikes.
Playoff football in October, baby.
Yeah, who thought?
Who would have thought?
There you go.